Let's talk about one of the trickiest Praxis question types, numeric entry. Unlike multiple choice items, there are no options to choose from. Staring at a blank box and finding the right number is all on you. Intimidating? Very. But once you know what the question is really asking and how to approach it, these questions aren't scary. They're totally manageable. Hi, I'm Sandra Matthews, and I have a doctoral degree in education. Welcome to Pass Your Praxis channel. Today, we'll break down what numeric entry questions are, why they're on the Praxis, and strategies to solve them, and how to handle uncertainty. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap and toolkit to tackle them with confidence. When you're taking the Praxis, numeric entry questions will typically show up in the math portions of the exam. Instead of being presented with a neat little lineup of answer choices, you'll see an empty box. Sometimes you'll see one box where you can type a whole number or a decimal. And sometimes you'll see two smaller boxes stacked like a fraction, where you enter the numerator in the top box and the denominator in the bottom. This type of question is designed to cut away the safety net of multiple choice. Think of it as the test saying, I want to see if you can actually do the math without me giving you any hints. For example, instead of asking what is 25% of 80 and giving 4 options to choose from, it'll just say what is 25% of 80 with a blank box. You'll solve it, find the answer is 20, and type 20 directly into the space. The benefit here is that you don't get distracted by tricky answer choices that are designed to lure you into making mistakes. The challenge is that there's no way to guess between options. You either know it or you don't. But the good news is, once you've practiced this style, you'll see it's really just straightforward problem solving. If there's one thing I can't stress enough, it's the importance of slowing down and reading carefully. Numeric entry questions love to hide key details in the wording. For example, a problem might ask you for the radius of a circle, but only give you the diameter. If you rush, you might mistakenly type the diameter into the box instead of dividing it by 2 to get the radius. And since there are no answer choices sitting there to flag your mistake, you won't realize you went wrong. Reading carefully at the start saves you from falling into that trap. When you see one of these questions, don't jump straight to typing in an answer. Treat it like you would a homework problem. Write down what the question is really asking for. Identify the numbers you're given and organize the steps you'll need to take. For example, let's say you're asked a rectangle has a length of 12 and a width of 7. What is the area? The question is really saying area equals length times width. Multiply 12 by 7 and you get 84. Then type 84 in the box. Straightforward, but the key is taking those few seconds to set up the problem on scratch paper rather than trying to do it all in your head. The more complicated the problem, the more important it is to set it up carefully. Now, here's something that trips up a lot of test takers: the format of your answer. On numeric entry questions, it's not enough to just get the math right. You also need to type the answer the way the test is expecting. If the question deals with money, like interest or total cost, you'll usually round to the nearest cent, but always double check the instructions. Only round when it tells you to. For example, if it says round to the nearest tenth, stick to 1 decimal place, and if rounding isn't mentioned, enter the exact answer. If the system doesn't take it, that's a good clue something's off in your math. If your answer is a fraction, any equivalent form like 1/2 or 6/12 will be marked correct. Just keep in mind that in some cases you might need to simplify it so it fits properly in the answer boxes. Here's an example. Suppose the problem asks, what is 3/4 times 1/2? You work it out and get 3/8. That's the answer. If you type 0.375, that's fine too, as long as decimals are allowed. But if you type 2/4, even though that equals 1/2 and might seem close, it's not the right fraction for this problem, and the test won't give you credit. Attention to detail really matters here. One of the advantages of multiple choice questions is that you can often catch your own mistakes by scanning the options. Numeric entry doesn't give you that luxury, but there are still ways to check yourself. Estimation is your best friend. If you're calculating 19% of 210, think about what 20% would be. 20% of 210 is 42. 19% should be just a little less than 42. If you solve and your answer is 4.2, you know you made a decimal mistake. If your answer is 420, you drop the decimal the other way. Estimation acts as a quick reality check. Another strategy is to reverse the math. If you solve an equation and find that x equals 12, plug 12 back into the original equation. If it works, you can be confident your answer is correct. If it doesn't, something went wrong and you should take another look. Let's be real. Sometimes you're just not sure what to do with a numeric entry question. With multiple choice, you can use elimination to get closer. Here you don't have that, but that doesn't mean you're completely out of luck. One option is to ballpark it. Let's say you need to divide 350 by 7. Even if you can't get the exact number right away, you can think about how many times 7 goes into 35. That's 5, which means 7 goes into 350 about 50 times. In this case, that's actually the exact answer, 50. But even if it weren't exact, you'd be close, and close is better than leaving it blank. Another way to deal with tough questions is to simplify as much as possible. If it's a word problem with lots of details, start by pulling out the numbers and seeing what relationships they have. Sometimes when you clear away the extra words, you'll see the math hiding underneath. And if you're still completely stuck, don't let one problem eat up your time. Make your best guess. Enter something reasonable and move on. Remember, an unanswered question is always wrong, but a guess at least has a shot. Praxis doesn't penalize you for wrong answers. Numeric entry questions might look intimidating, but they're actually a fair way for you to demonstrate your skills. They strip away the noise of multiple choice and just let you show the math. The keys are reading carefully, setting up the problem step by step, formatting your answer correctly, and using estimation and reverse checking to confirm your work. And if you're stuck, remember, entering a reasonable guess is always better than leaving it blank. So the next time you see a blank box pop up on a Praxis, don't panic. Take a breath, think through the problem, and trust yourself. You've got the tools you need, and with practice, those empty boxes will start to look less like a trap and more like an opportunity. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's the hardest part of numeric entry questions for you? Thanks for watching, and good luck on your Praxis journey. You can do this.